Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, based on whichever part of the world you are based in. I heartily welcome you for the opening session of the day three of Deep Tech Innovation Alley, which is fondly also called as a DTIA. And that's the brand is been very popular, getting very popular within the across the industry. After 2 days of very gripping sessions, discussions, panels, covering topics like corporate innovation and AI, or sustainability and deep tech, we are here starting the day three, which will cover the topic of deep tech enabled growth. All through the day, we will go across multiple sessions, discussions, and very interesting conversations. Growing the business quarter on quarter or year on year is the single most critical issue on the minds of CEOs or business leaders that gives them sleepless nights. We have heard many CEOs talking about this, many business leaders talking about this in various forums. In the next 30 minutes or so, we will be trying to decode how a successful business leader ensures that the business is growing consistently so that he is able to sleep peacefully. Please join me in welcoming Unnat Varma, who is the Managing Director for Asia Pacific for Pizza Hut or Yum Brands. Unnat has spent more than 2.5 decades in the industry, mainly in the food, restaurant, or FMCG industries. He has remarkably showcased leaderships in skills like building and managing large franchisee networks, managing large scale sales volumes, as well as maintain very high profitability. And of course, you all will agree with me that is the most difficult or critical part of the business to manage. Has also been part of, as well as himself implemented, large scales digital transformation programs, and there could be many other things that we can talk about him. uh, Rather than I talking about them, I request Unnat, welcome you. I would request you to talk about yourself for a couple of minutes so that there is a justice made to your introduction. Unnat.
Thank you, Raju, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the lovely audience here. It's been an amazing session on deep tech and AI, and I've been keenly following the last 2 days of events. Gives me goosebumps sometimes to see what's happening in this part of the world. Um, about me, well, I have yes, I'm very fortunate to have worked with two large, global companies, Gillette, PNG, for the first slightly over a decade, and then Yum Brands for almost 17, in fact, slightly more than 17 years. And with Yum, I've had the privilege of working on all three brands: KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. And yeah, it's been a fabulous journey in trying to scale up great global brands in this part of the world. Initially in India, where I was primarily for the first 13 years, and over the last about 5 years in APAC, where I oversee 22 countries for Pizza Hut. It's been great. Also, what's been exciting is that truly Asia, like we say, is a microcosm of the world. We have the developed part of Asia, the developing part of Asia. I've had my most amazing learnings in actually spending a week at the SEEPS campus in Shanghai in China,
Wow.
which is where I met your co-founder Sandy, right?
Correct.
We were classmates there, and that is where I realized the power of technology and data. And I have been a totally transformed person after that. I haven't looked back. In fact, every day when I wake up, I think about technology first in trying to run my business.
Yeah, something similar happened with Sandy also, it seems. So Yeah. And network science is the result of that. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, but probably as we move forward, you know, I hope Unnat, you as well as the audience enjoyed. I forgot to put a disclaimer that all the characters are fictional, and there is no resemblance with anyone, or if it is, it's only imaginary. And especially, I keep joking about it. This guy is not Sandy's twin, so I mean, so with that, the concept here is technology just for the sake of adopting it, whether it will make your life easy or difficult. That's what I thought will set up the tone for the conversation. Yeah, so with that, probably let's get back to our own things. So I remember hearing that Pizza Hut or Yum brands used to always very proudly say that we are the pizza company that lives life unboxed. What a fantastic vision statement, or it was. I mean, that's the promise that we got, whenever we walked into any Pizza Hut store. Is that still a reality, or in a very competitive world, it's compromised from your side to deliver that promise?
Well, it is pretty much a reality. It's a huge statement of inspiration, not only in the way we address our consumer needs and address the brand vis-a-vis the consumers, but also the way we position the brand vis-a-vis our employees and communities.
Right.
Um, let's put it this way: that pizza actually is the most loved food type in the world.
Yeah.
The staggering statistic that 98% of the population that consumes outside food loves pizzas. That is the highest love one can see for any food type. And so clearly, it is a product type that gets people together for social occasions, for intimate meals and celebrations, and it's all got the positive vibe. And so, from a consumer standpoint, it's always meant that you can unbox happiness when you come
Correct.
together over a pizza. But we've extended this to employees, where we say that you can actually unlock your career potential by working at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And we have many experiences around the world. Just one experience I want to share with you today is, for example, in Sri Lanka. It's a fabulous market for Pizza Hut. We have given young hearing and speech impaired
Hmm.
youth an opportunity to work at Pizza Hut, and not just work at entry level jobs, but even grow and become managers. Right. So that is the way we've helped them unlock opportunities by working at Pizza Hut. And then when talking about working with communities and helping them unlock, we have many cases around the world. I can talk about one particular case in Indonesia, where we worked with small and marginalized farmers by giving them a direct visibility of buying their produce on a consistent basis, and giving them visibility of income, so that they don't have to worry about where our produce is going to get sold when it grows next month and stuff like that. So there are many cases, and therefore it is a statement that not just targets consumers, but is kind of all brand encompassing, which goes across all elements of our corporate strategy.
Wow. So it necessarily means that it's not the promise that is been made on a website or on a paper. It's been actually delivered and covers as inclusive growth or inclusion of society in general.
That's
So
right.
that's fantastic. And that's really inspiring to know. There's a my personal experience. I remember since almost about 95, 96, was that the timeline? Pizza Hut entered Indian markets, because that's the time I remember when we started seeing all those nice, sort of retail outlets coming across cities like Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, and other places.
Yes.
Since then, I think there is a consistent sort of experience that people get out of whenever they walk in into the Pizza Hut outlet. Okay. I'm sure there is a sort of a big effort that has been made to kind of maintain this leadership in providing the experience. So, and there is, at the same time, there is a competition also that is coming up, and there are ways and means we have seen your competition doing. Sorry, Unnat, no offense made here, but we have been seeing in the market, a lot of efforts in terms of adopting technology to deliver pizza faster and things like that. So, just wanted to understand how at Yum Brands or Pizza Hut you are addressing this.
So Raju, no offense taken. All these are they bring a smile on the face and tell you that technology has its own challenges. So to your point, yes, we started the brand in India in 95, 96, and that's also around the time that we started the brand in many countries here in Asia Pacific. And the first decade, or let's say 15 years, was spent around building the brand as a great dine-in experience. Um, and even today, in markets like India, markets like Indonesia, Vietnam, Hong Kong, etc., we are the largest casual diner even now.
Okay.
Despite the onslaught of competition, new kinds of concepts, new private equity money coming in, we're still the largest. In fact, in Asia Pacific, we are the largest pizza brand per se. Uh, and that's been achieved by being number one or number two in the respective markets, right? So in India, when the transformation started to happen, we realized that pizza is consumed not only within a restaurant space but also at home and in offices and stuff. And there has been a tremendous effort in trying to make Pizza Hut relevant not just for the dine-in environment but also for the off-premise environment.
Right.
And out there, the competition is extremely stiff.
Correct.
But we have all along we have evolved Pizza Hut to say that we are going to be an omni-channel player. We don't believe that we should be an only delivery or a only carry out, because pizza is had in different settings with different group sizes, occasions. So we just want to be the most relevant pizza player. And what is core to our brand is that we offer the tastiest pizza, no matter what the occasion. Our customer experience absolutely has to be the best in class. In dine-in, it's very easy to give the customer experience where there is table service, you interact with human beings and not with machines. And I don't know if you still remember, we still do those, Bollywood dances to entertain customers inside the store.
Yes, yes, very
But
much, very
yeah,
much. That
it's
was kind of the talk of the town, probably when you entered the Indian markets.
that's right. That's right. But that means very different things in the off-premise world. We can't,
True.
take our team members to do a dance at someone's house. But the one thing that we don't compromise on is giving customers the best pizza.
Right, right. And I have also heard some stories or some anecdotes about it's not only left to the individuals to make sure that the same quality pizza is delivered day after day, or year after year or week after week. There is a large scale technology adoption also to this particular endeavor. Will you be able to talk about it, enlighten us in terms of how a technology is used in keeping the test and delivery, sorry, the experience around it?
Absolutely. So when it comes to delivering the tastiest pizza, we've realized that pizza needs to be hot when it is consumed. The same pizza, if it loses 20 degrees of temperature, it certainly loses like half or majority of its taste.
Correct.
So the elements that drive craveability in a food, especially in pizza, is one is how well the pizza is made in terms of the quality and the quantity of toppings that you have on the pizza. And second is what is the temperature at which the pizza is consumed when it is either served on the table or it is delivered to a consumer's home.
Hmm.
And in both these aspects, we have deployed a lot of technology from actually a few years ago. We, in fact, went about buying one of the companies that was based out of Australia. It was called Dragon Tail. So as a company, as Yum Brands, we eventually went and bought that company, which helped us devise some of these technologies. So we used AI in deciding, for example, depending on how far a rider was and what was the number of orders that was getting queued up. We
Okay.
use AI to help us decide when should a pizza be put inside the oven, so that by the time the pizza comes out of the oven, it is in the rider's hand. In a lot of cases, what happens is the pizza is ready and sitting inside the store, and you don't have a delivery rider to pick it up and give it to a customer. So it is getting cold even before the rider has picked it up from the store. And
Wow.
so we've used some of those technologies to really understand. I mean, you can imagine mapping traffic to location of the rider, to our own process, the queuing of the orders, how much time it takes to prepare a pizza. Different pizzas have different make times and stuff like that. So that was a fairly intricate part of the technology that we've deployed and first tested very successfully in Singapore, and now we are beginning to scale up all over the world. And not just that, we are right now also testing. I mean, we are installing these AI cameras on top of our make tables, because, like
Correct.
I said, pizza is not just about the temperature; it's also about the quality and quantity of toppings. And so, as our team members get the order and they're assembling a pizza, they put the sauce, they put the cheese, they put the toppings. Each pizza has a specific recipe coded in the camera. And so the camera, for example, if you're making a pepperoni, it's supposed to have X number of slices. The camera will pick up if you put the right number of slices. If the quantity of cheese is right, it's spread very well and stuff like that. And if it is not, it has an intervention mechanism where you can make
Wow.
corrective action before the pizza is even put inside the oven. So using technology, not for the sake of using technology, but using it to deliver the core customer promise of the tastiest pizza, has been something that has guided us all this, all this while, in choosing what to pick up and choosing what not to pick up.
Excellent. That's so heartening to us. I mean, we at Network Science, we keep talking to our customers multiple times, talking about how technology can, especially a deep tech like, AI or ML or things like them. They keep we keep talking out to them in terms of adopting these, and many a times the discussion goes purely into a theoretical mode, but probably from today onwards will be very proud to give your example, and in case maybe request you to give sort of a referral talk, not specifically about a technology, but in general technology in the actual use.
Yes.
With that, another that leads to another thing, a lot of things that you are just kind of decoding for us. They show that there is a huge appetite of innovation. I mean, rather than uh, run the business as it is, probably there is a appetite, or there is always a intention to change the way businesses run or change the business,
Yes.
and that calls for a lot of innovative approach and the systematic efforts towards that. So how do you actually foster the culture of innovation within your organization? Now, what kind of things you do, how you sort of do that?
Sure. This is on this particular topic. I can talk for hours, but let me try
We
and be
have only
as.
10 minutes
I know.
just to
The way there was a time when we would uh, equate innovation as only product innovation. That what is the next new pizza coming out?
correct.
What's the next new flavor coming out? And then we realized that we reached a stage where we were getting diminishing returns to product innovation, because customer needs had changed, their expectations of brands had changed, and they were expecting not just product innovation but also experience innovation.
Right.
And so it was like a bit of a moment for us, where we said, hey, let's just take a pause on what we are doing and let's go back to really understanding the entire customer experience and building our organization's innovation capability and the DNA of the organization, if you have to even redefine that. So we did that, and we came to a moment where there was one particular year I remember, was it 2016 or something, in India. We said that for 2 years we will not do any new product introduction, because innovation always meant product innovation for us, but we had
Correct.
actually lagged behind on other aspects of innovation, right?
Okay.
Whether it is
Mhm.
in-store experience, whether it is delivery experiences using technology via e-commerce and stuff like that. So for a good, I would say 18 to 24 months, we actually redefined innovation and
Mhm.
changed the mindset of the organization to say, let's think beyond product. And that was actually the most, I would say, in the last 5 or 6 year time period, it has been the most elevating experience for the whole organization, where we walked into the organization every day with a new energy, because we were learning something new, we were implementing things, we were seeing joy of that happen. And we actually, for a period of time, India became the fastest growing market in the Pizza Hut world, despite not touching product as an innovation, just by innovating on customer experience. And large part of that happened by using digital and technology uh, at the forefront. So that to me was a great experience. We also deployed some of these processes in many other markets in Asia Pacific. I mean, the way, for example, we innovate in a market like Taiwan. Taiwan is known for amazing, innovation when it comes to developing new recipes, new products, new toppings, and all
Mhm.
of that uses a lot of tech because you start by social listening. You deploy tools to understand what are the food flavors or items that are trending, and you deploy listening tools. You get some idea, you do some testing based on that. You do a lot of A/B testing on what concepts, what price points are going to work, and then launch it. So in everything that we are doing, there has been a lot of technology deployment in making the brand successful and more relevant for our customers.
Wow, very exciting, and it's very very. I'm very amazed to know that Taiwan is probably ahead of other geographies for such pilots or making some experiments. That's very I don't know. It's a very strange thing to hear, or maybe first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Asia is a very large and complex region. Each market has its own complexities and nuances and way of workings, and so there are stories that I can talk about from each and every market.
oh,
But
okay,
the way we have seen the consistency with which this particular approach has worked, which is to deploy social listening, is to understand what's happening in the trends. I mean, using digital and
correct.
technology in all the decision making processes absolutely has been amazing in some countries, and one of them is Taiwan.
Wow, that motivates us because that's what we keep on sort of uh, taking it to our customers, to our partners, saying that the technology can change the world, and then we would like to be part of that for sure. So I mean, while it's very good to listen that there's so much of thrust in fostering the innovation, thinking and redefining the innovation. You know, is it all done by Yum Brands or your own team alone, or you believe in a co-creation kind of a model, or partnering with some of the best in the breed partners across the globe? Because for your business side, partnerships or channels is probably the key or a backbone. Is it the same for the technology adoption as well, or how is it addressed?
A great question. So the way we are very fortunate to actually have some amazing franchise partners run our brands in their respective countries.
Correct.
In a 22 country geography in Asia Pacific, we have 16 franchise partners. So some franchises have multiple countries, and they have built a lot of capability in the respective countries to understand how to run digital technology, business, and build capabilities around that. Um, what we have done here is just made sure that the organization structure and culture captures the fact that we need to have, it's a part of a business, will always peep into the future, look at what's happening in the surroundings, and adapt, test, and adopt technologies that will continue to redefine the brand as we move into the future. So we cannot always do things in the way we had done them 5 years ago or 7 years ago. Otherwise we'll just become a dinosaur over time. And so the thing that we drive centrally is, one is getting our partners access to the best of technologies. Because of Yum's scale around the world, we have three brands. We are the largest restaurant company in the world. So we have that scale and we are able to get access to various technologies to our partners. But not just that, at local level, and especially in Asia, some of these countries tend to have their own local nuances. Our partners have this, capability that has been built out, and a culture of, peeping outside and spending at least 20% of the time in looking at possibilities of how the brand can be developed in the future. And so it is not just technology is not just used in deciding what should be the next new product, like I mentioned. It is used in deciding. I mean, so for example, I'll just take a very small example, right? In some cases, if there is a massive thunder shower in a city or a country,
Right.
let's say in a city, in some countries the sales goes up, in some countries the sales goes down,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Now, how do you figure out? And if you're running a 100, 500 store network, how do you equip the restaurant managers to forecast the right way? Because weather is now you have pretty accurate prediction of weather. Now, how do you
Yes.
integrate weather forecast into your own operations? How many team members do you need on a particular day? Should you have more riders or less riders? Should you have more pizza bases, prepared and more cheese ordered, or not? Because it's all fresh. These things are kind of just in time kind of supply chain system. So we've used technologies in running pretty efficient back of house operations.
Okay.
We have used technology in understanding what are the right locations to open the store. We are very deep in using all kinds of data and putting them and triangulating that in with the retail potential of a certain area and the food potential and the competitive landscape in a particular trade zone, to really pinpoint and laser sharply focus on exactly where our stores need to be opened up. So technology has been used not just, like I said, in consumer facing, but also in a lot of other things that helps us uh, grow the brand consistently.
Beautiful. I mean, so many things. I'm sure the audience as well as myself, I'm hearing first time, and it kind of, as I keep saying, that it keeps sort of motivating us, because uh, we always keep talking about technology, but when you see some real time examples, that motivates you, that much further. Now, while doing all these kind of big and fat changes across the organization, across the front end of the business as well as the back end of the business, I'm sure you have faced some or many challenges, while implementing them. Uh, I'm 100% sure a lot of audience would like to know, because it's rather easier said than done. So would you like to throw some light on that in terms of what kind of challenges they were, how do you address them and put them back into track?
It's a it can be very, very, very challenging, because what happens with technology is that you assume that once you're making a capital investment behind a certain kind of tech stack, it's going to last you, let's say, 5 years or 10 years. You take a depreciation of a particular product or a solution over a 5 or 10 year time frame, but then things change quite rapidly, and suddenly the brand needs in 3 years time a new technology.
Correct.
So one is this bucket of financial, which is what is the
Getting
cost
the
of
budgets correct.
yeah. What is the cost of adopting new technologies and phasing out old technologies? And for this, I've realized that there is no other shortcut. I mean, the best way to do this is to have the smartest, most business-minded CFO in the business. That to me is the biggest realization. Um, uh, and and as much as possible, see, in all of this, especially in our case, because we do a lot of thinking on the brand, but the execution is also done by the franchise partners on the ground. So we have to, in whatever decisions that we take, we cannot just go to our franchise partners and tell them, hey, here is the solution. We have to take them through the journey of realization. So the
Right.
fact that, with technology, you start with the possibilities, you look at 100 different solutions, you look at viabilities, and then you finally make the choice of going with one particular solution. That
Mhm.
entire journey sometimes can take, 12 months or 18 months or whatever that time horizon is. You have to take the key stakeholders of the business along with you through the entire process. So once a year, we actually go to different parts of the world to immerse ourselves in what is happening with the latest tech world. So I remember sometime back we were in LA, and we had gone to also San Francisco, that particular Bay Area, to understand what is happening in technology. And this was meant to be a company event, but I had more representation of my franchise partner leaders, because ultimately it is they who have to finally sign the check and agree to implement those technologies in their respective geographies. So this
Okay.
entire thing about taking critical people with you through the entire journey is extremely important. Um, we've seen automatic pizza machines. We've seen those automatic delivery vehicles on the road. They're already actually plying on the streets of Los Angeles, where you put a certain address and they go and deliver a particular packet to a customer. So these are new technologies getting tested in one part of the world. We plan to kind of bring them in this part of the world, and they're heavy capex investments. So these are impediments one has to be very clearly focused on.
Right, right. But I will still have a question whether you or me will have a say in appointing a CFO. So I mean, with that keeping in mind, probably I will move the focus. One, okay, assume you get the budget, you have money to spend, you have implemented a new tech. I'm sure change management, one on one hand you talked about the franchises, but within your own team members must be a major challenge, for such a large or a huge organization. How do you handle that?
So actually, the culture that you build in the organization, and this is something that you can't build almost like overnight. You say, "Hey, I want to transform the culture." I think culture is built over time,
Correct.
and that is what either becomes a catalyst or it becomes an impediment. So in
Correct.
our case, we are very fortunate to have built a culture where we are we welcome new ideas. We always have this absolute very strong inner desire to make sure that we are always at the leading edge of giving customers the best of experience. Our brand North Star has been defined very clearly, and that is understood by even the last member of the store who's running the store. That particular brand North Star is very clearly understood. So when an organization is built on these founding principles of great culture, great knowledge of the brand, where exactly do we have to take the brand to, and we have built a practice where every now and then we have newer things coming in, the system is used to it, then I think adopting new technologies is not a challenge, especially because in an industry like this, especially at the restaurant level, very young people work, right? So
Correct.
it's an industry that attracts very young people, and in fact, sometimes we end up learning from them. What are the
Yes.
newest, apps they're using, and what's trending and stuff like that. It is the at the corporate level, and at the between the corporate and the field level, the layer that comes in the middle, that is where we really have to move the mountains to drive change.
Absolutely. You talked about the young generation. While we were setting up for this particular session, we had a huge debate on what exactly is Gen X, what exactly is Gen Y, what is Gen Z, millennials, and things like that. So I mean, you said that in a very precise and concise words. I know, however, I hate to stop this. I need to do that because it's again bound to be a time bound kind of a activity. So it was very nice talking with you. Now we have heard and we have learned, or we have tried to decode you as a transformational person, making big and fast changes within your organization. Our research team put in a lot of efforts in terms of trying to know you as an individual.
Okay.
So I'm shifting the gears from business, technology, innovation, to know Unnat as an individual. And pardon me if there are any questions that may offend you, or you're not comfortable to answer. You have the full liberty. So there's a bunch of these cue cards that are being given to me, and I'm been asked to ask you those questions in a rapid fire. Every question will have three options, and you have freedom. Say none of the above, and say your own answer.
Okay.
So with that, with your permission, I'll start that round. Is it okay?
Well, even if you don't have my permission, you will still do it, right? So please.
Okay. Thank you for anticipation. Okay. So is the first question, and it's again related to your own sort of a daily life. What's your favorite cuisine? Okay. The options are Indian, Italian, or Japanese.
Oh my God, very difficult to choose from, but of late, I would say Japanese. Living in
Oh,
Asia and experiencing the different kind of food types available in this part of the world, I can tell you I'm totally blown away with Japanese cuisine. Well, Indian
oh, I
Italian,
mean,
I've grown up on Indian Italian, so I can never say it's not my favorite, but Japanese is my latest, hottest cuisine these days.
yeah, the most favorite, I would say. I was lucky, I was thinking to put in Chinese, but I don't know. Last minute, I changed it, Japanese to Chinese, or probably, sorry, Chinese to Japan, whatever it is. So, okay, now let's move to the next question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure sports is part of your life. So, what's your most favorite sport and the team associated with it?
So, are there options or should I just answer?
Yes, I'm giving you option.
Okay.
Okay, option in sports, I will give you options. Team, you have to pick and choose of your own choice. Okay, the options are football, tennis, or cricket.
So I'm a fully, I'm a true Indian. I fully believe
Correct.
and support the game of cricket. I'm a big believer in team sports, so I don't like tennis much because it's more like an individual sport as compared to football and cricket. That there are team sports, and cricket is my passion. I have played cricket. I watch cricket. I intend to watch the World Cup in India later this year. In fact, I
Okay.
was in the Lord Stadium. Very recently where India played Australia for the World Test Championships. Unfortunately, India lost. But yeah, I'm a big buff.
Oh wow! Do you and Sandy plan your travel together? I guess Sandy was also there too.
Coincidentally, yeah, we happened to be at the stadium on different dates, so we could not meet at the stadium, but off the stadium we certainly met. Um, and in terms of teams, when it is different, nations playing, obviously India is my favorite. But at
Okay.
the IPL, I'm torn. I mean, I love Delhi Capitals because I come from Delhi, and I love that team because of that reason. Unfortunately, they haven't had a single win in so many years of IPL, and so now
Mm-hmm.
I'm forced to choose Chennai Super Kings, also
Oh,
because of love for Dhoni.
correct. Coincidentally, that's my favorite as well.
Right.
So thank you for choosing the right team and the right sport, I would say. Okay. Now, the next one is, if you have to stay anywhere, one city in the world, okay, which city that would be? And the options are either Gurgaon or Gurugram in the new world, Singapore or India. Oh, sorry, not India, Pune.
Oh, Gurugram, Singapore, or Pune?
Yes,
See, this is like you are serving me a three-course meal where you're saying, do you want to have a starter or a main or
and
a
choose.
dessert?
Correct,
But
correct.
I want to have a
Absolutely.
starter and a main and a dessert. I can't choose between. So I would love to wake up to the fresh air of Singapore and to the efficiency of the city, but by the middle of the day, get to Pune for the vibe and the knowledge that comes in from that particular place, and end my day at Gurugram doing parties in the famous pubs and microbreweries there. So if I had a
Oh.
choice, that's what I would do.
But that's not feasible. So probably if you have to go with one, I mean, I'm still insisting what that would be.
Uh,
And I would
well,
love the option that you just said, the answer that you said. That can be fine as long as it is practical. But in a practical word,
I think the energy I get from Gurugram is amazing.
okay, I got my answer. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, what excites you the most professionally? I'm talking about. I mean, joining or working for a startup, scale up, or a large enterprise.
I think having now worked for two wonderful companies and within the companies on different stages, I think startup or scale up, I would say scale up is amazing. I have done
Okay.
scale up with KFC, I've done scale up, startup and scale up with Taco Bell. And I tell you, I've really enjoyed, doing that. Though there is a different kick coming out of, scale. I mean, the business that I'm responsible for with Pizza Hut in Asia Pacific is like top line of $4 billion, 7,500 stores and stuff. But the kick out of a startup or a scale up is totally different. And so
Correct.
that's my core, choice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay. Now, again, coming back, what would be your best way to pass time or kill time or time pass, whatever you may call it, whether it's reading a book, listening a music, or watching a web series on Netflix?
Actually, I end up doing all three. I read a lot and I listen to a lot of podcasts as the day starts.
Ah, okay.
And then the music takes over early evening when I come back and I maybe when I go for my fitness or hit the gym or something like that. And then as the night sets in, there's always that, last 1 hour of the day devoted to Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually all three.
I think the millennials should learn from what you just said. So I mean, they probably tend to go with a one of the options, but whereas you are a man who are touching all three. So I mean, good to know that.
Maybe
Okay,
superficially, but yeah, I'm touching all three.
okay, okay. Now, what is the most memorable vacation you have taken in the recent past, if
Wow.
at all you have taken?
Yeah, no, I have a habit of taking at least one, if not two vacations, one longish and one very short vacation in every year. And I just love this one where just before COVID happened, we in 2019 we had taken this vacation to visit two countries, France and Spain.
Hmm.
Um, and so I went to Cannes in France,
Okay,
Cannes
so
or
the
Cannes,
film
how
festival.
you pronounce it? Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and did the southern part of the southern
Europe.
region of France,
Okay.
as well as then drove a lot in Spain, and I went to the Andalusia region. I thought that was absolutely one of my most stunning vacations
Wow.
because the cusp of cultures in that part of the world and just the joy of exploring. There's so many unique things that you come across in that part of the world:
Hmm.
food, architecture, culture, dances, etc., etc. It is so amazing. That was one of my most favorite, and the next one I'm looking forward to is Japan.
Oh, cool. I mean, you are already planning the next one, so
Yes.
that's cool to know. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, last two questions. Coming back to professional part again. If you have to again, it's not limited to a professional part, but if you have been offered to do a TED talk, what topic it would be?
Wow. Um, if it, I think I would do a TED talk in. I truly believe in the power of unlocking the human capital,
Okay.
and and if I can share my experiences and help people, leaders, and organizations truly tap into the human talent that is at their disposal and unlock their true potential, I would love to give a talk on that particular thing. That's the biggest belief that I have. I believe every human being who goes to work has an innate desire of making a big contribution
Mhm.
and growing and being successful. And it is the organization, the leadership at the organization, and the culture of the organization that either catalyzes that from either happening or prevents it from happening. So I guess that would be my area.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, the last question, and I really need your very honest answer.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And the question is, if you have to choose one meal that you have to eat all through your life, okay, what that would be? The options are aloo paratha, burger, or Pizza Hut pizza.
Wow. Okay. So you want me to be honest,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and then you have to believe me what I say. Uh,
Great.
it will still be Pizza Hut pizza, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Actually, a pizza is an Italian paranta. In paranta,
Okay. Got it.
you put the stuffing in between the layers. In pizza, you put all the flavors on top. So it's the same thing. And with pizzas, I can choose my flavor. So when I feel like having a little bit of Western, I can put the tomato sauce. When I want to have Indian flavors, I can put the makhani sauce and stuff like that. So I would choose pizza because it is very flexible and still for me, it's a paranta. Uh,
Oh, okay. I would still like to believe. that you are honest. So, hey, Unnat, thank you so much. It was really fun. It's probably one of the best sessions that we have had so far. So, thank you very much. There are a lot of questions that have come from the audience, but when I glance them through, most of the questions or most of the answers are covered by you. But if not, I would like to guarantee audience that we will compile them and we'll work with Unnat to get the specific answers to your specific questions. My and I have my I can see backstage the organizers kind of cursing me because I have already overshot time by a lot. Okay, and sorry for that. The only sincere request to audience, to take the polls. We have already published the poll, so we all request you to kind of give your sort of wish list to know us, participate in the polls, so that it helps us do better in the future sessions. So Unnat, thank you once again. Maybe in 30 seconds you would like to sort of close the conversation today. I think that will be help.
Yeah, in closing, I just want to say I love what you guys are doing.
Thank
And the
you.
fact that as a leader, I have over time realized that every day when I wake up, if I look at my business through the lens of how can technology help me achieve my business objectives, solve for the great customer experience, and continue to build my brand in the North Star that has been defined for the brand, but by using technology, I think
Correct.
that's the biggest contribution a leader can make to the rest of the organization. Now, technology is here to stay and grow, and I'm a big believer in it.
With that, thank you, Unnat. Thank you so much. The next session, again, one of the very exciting topics that's coming up. Uh, thank you, Unnat.